June 26th, Stephen A. Smith on ESPN reporting. I am reporting the Suns won out of the Kevin Durant mix. Kind of hung over the 2 days of the draft a little bit here in Phoenix, Jody. Jody Jackson in for Bick today. So finally.
I think I was in for you, and Bick and I were talking about this.
Yes.
And, I mean, look, I wasn't really putting Stephen A. Smith in the category of journalist anyway, but yeah, it
That's
didn't
where his
seem...
roots are.
Yeah, well, the roots have really, he's branched out from those roots, that's for sure.
That is true.
Many of us, their roots are not the same color they used to be anyway.
Kevin Durant himself
Speak for yourself, Jared.
sat down with Vince Goodwill of Yahoo Sports as Team USA gets ready for the Olympics. And, of course, Kevin Durant saw what was happening in terms of those rumors.
It's hard not to hear what they got to say about you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, because especially then you could just make up lies. Like, everybody going to believe you. Like, you could just press the KD want to leave button anytime you want some attention.
You think it's a button?
Yes. It's for sure a button. What else is going to get people going around this time? Besides, the journeyman is leaving again. That storyline gonna always hit, the people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they see the alerts on ESPN on your phone. Oh, KD's thinking about leaving. That's how big that story is, which is whack. Because I'm talking to Phoenix every day, since the season ended. Like, our GMs, coaches, everybody, we've been locked in. So it's like to hear somebody say, well, Phoenix wants to get out of the KD sweep. So I'm like sitting there like, where is this coming from?
It's funny that he brought up the whole idea of the KD wants to leave button because
Is that like the easy button? Like just
that was easy. Because when those comments popped up from Stephen A. Smith, Bick mentioned that as a possibility. Do you float this? Hey, this draft is not exactly an A-list draft. The most talked about player in this draft is going to be drafted 55th by the Lakers. We got to come up with something. And you can't put it past these big news organizations, especially on the hot take shows, to maybe press the KD is leaving button to kind of spark this. But Kevin Durant is also a player with a history, and he talked about it.
Journeyman. He called himself a journeyman.
The journeyman is leaving again. Now, a follow-up question was, do the rumors that are out there bother you?
It bothers me that people lie like that, and it bothers me that the audience eats up lies. Not necessarily the headline, because I know it's false, and I know the relationships, but I get sad when people buy into lies or just make up. It's deep. It's bigger than ball at that point for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I can't control that. I feel for people. I don't want you to even because that's a bad practice to have when you just believe anything, for one. When you just believe whatever you see on TV. And then there's another bad habit when you just lying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to get into here.
Well, if you remember, also, Stephen A. followed up when everybody with the Suns said that was not true. He followed up by saying not only that,
I don't believe them.
Yeah, he says, I don't believe them. And Kevin Durant actually also doesn't want to be with the Suns.
So let's, what we do, you parse the comments. You look at the language used.
Right.
And Katie said, since the offseason, we've been talking every day.
He said locked in.
Locked in.
I mean, that's a positive. It's not exactly an endorsement of I'm happy here.
No,
but he said locked in.
Unless you're in prison, locked in is usually a good term.
Lockstep.
But here's what, after hearing these comments and really thinking about it, and then going back and considering what Stephen A. Smith put out there on June 26th, one thing we know about Kevin Durant in his history is when he wants out, he will let it be known. Mm-hmm. When he wanted out of Brooklyn and wanted to come to Phoenix, there was no mystery about it. The reports came out. There was no refuting it from Kevin Durant. It came out once, and then it came out again, and then it was a done deal. There's nothing other than Stephen A. Smith. I don't think anybody else has suggested that Kevin Durant wants out. But Jared is correct. There was, and you're correct. There's not the use of the term, I love it here. I'm happy. Right. I'm completely satisfied. I want this to be my last stop, which I know would allow a lot of people in Phoenix to breathe easy. But it's also Kevin Durant.
So what do you think? What does it tell you? Does it tell you maybe he's not completely happy, or just does he not want to box himself in? I don't. Yeah,
There's something to be said for that. I mean,
Yeah.
you want to go to the best opportunity, especially a player like Kevin Durant, who I'm not suggesting this. Others will. They'll look at the 2 championships he won in Golden State and say, oh, they're tainted. He went to Golden State. He joined a 73-win team. Of course they were going to win championships. I think it's important for him to win a championship elsewhere. And I said it last week, and I said it the week of the draft. For me, it doesn't make any sense for the Suns to be interested in not having the services of Kevin Durant. I think it's very important how this season starts, what the trajectory looks like at the trade deadline, because Kevin Durant is going to be 36 years old. And he's got a hefty salary. And if it's not going well for a second full season, at some point, I mean, are you going to go down with the ship if it's pretty clear you're not going to win a championship? Or are you
it's
going to try to
clear.
reclaim some assets if you can?
Because it's clear to me Matt Ishbia, James Jones, the powers that be are all in with this group.
Yes.
They are all in. This was the plan going back to the end of 2023. And this is what they want to do, and they feel good about it. And even after last year, which on paper, the record looks okay, but it never really felt right. It never felt like the super team we kind of were expecting. And yet, I agree. Yeah, I mean, and look, he hasn't looked like it. He had a great season last year. He doesn't look like he's aging quickly or anything like that. But you have to wonder about the cohesion factor. I know, and we'll talk about the additions and how that might affect things, but I agree. He's kind of still a little wishy-washy on this.
Yeah, I'll come out and say it flatly. I think if the Suns are not in the championship mix this year, there's no chance Kevin Durant ends
He's out.
his career in Phoenix. That's
Yeah.
just the way I see it. And yes, they should be all in right now. Absolutely. 1 year with a group, with a coach that didn't exactly fit. It doesn't make
but
sense.
they were all in last year too.
You have
so.
to be all in every year.
You do,
and Matt
but
Ishbia, with his ownership, they will always be all in.
I think the coach will make a difference for sure. I think he'll get everybody on the same page. Why? I guess it's unfortunate that, it wasn't a wasted year, but it's too bad that Frank Vogel, didn't work out and maybe was never going to work out based on looking back and now seeing maybe his personality wasn't what they needed.
The lucky thing is with an owner like Ishbia, you can go all in 1 year, bust out, and then rebuy and go all in again the next year. It's not,
Yeah, I
you're not
agree. That's a
completely out
luxury.
if you lose
That
an
is
all-in
true.
year.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.